Hey guys, here's another video. You will hear a dog downstairs of one of our renters. They're not home right now, so it might yelp a little bit. Let's see here. Take a cup of coffee with it. Ah. Hey guys, welcome with another video. This is a video I was planning to do, and it actually didn't happen. And a subscriber was asking when he saw the tour of this setup, like, hey, what kind of acoustic treatments do you have going on in this room? So I wanted to address that, and I wanted to show you something, and I wanted to hopefully save you also a lot of money by not going for all these, I'm going to say it as it is, fucking companies out there. Sorry. Coffee. You know me, it's unedited, so none of this nonsense. So it's on wide angle. So you can see here on the side, on the first reflection point, there is a, what is it? I think it's a 2-inch thick panel. Then behind the camera is another 2-inch thick panel, a very big one on the wall. Then we have one over here as well. Then we have 1-inch panels over here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels. These were built to my specifications, and it was a company that I went for, an actual pretty well-established acoustic panel making company. And do I regret it? No. Do they work? Yes. Were they overpriced? Grossly. And I'm going to show you in a minute why I feel that way. They look great. Don't get me wrong. The fabric is phenomenal on them. It's really nice. They really did a nice job finishing these off. But if you know what it really is, it is just insulation board. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing special. In my corners here, you see these foam, very thick foam columns, as I call them. And they're attached with push pins. So I put push pins in there just to break that corner a little bit. And that's from an old bed. So we had a bed where you could sit on the side of the bed. It was basically a firm side. I was like, hey, when we threw that bed away years ago, I salvaged those because I knew, hey, I could use those for corners. It's great because it's thick foam. It's pretty dense foam. So, and that works great for in this room. I have no issues using that here. So I'm going to grab a panel here to show you. Now, these are nice panels, do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a dick towards the company. They did a great job with the fabric, really well finished, but then you turn them around and just to reflect this, guys, 2 of these, so 2-inch thick, 2 of these, 2-inch thick, one big one is about double the size, I would say, 2-inch thick, then 2 1-inches over there. They do work. But I paid close to $1,000 at that time for these panels. And a lot of companies sell these similar type of panels, mind you. Don't do it. Make them yourself. It's so stupid easy. That is my biggest regret. On the other hand, now I know what I'm looking at, and I'm like, I could have done this myself, but this is the material. And this comes from a very reputable panel making company. This is not from some shady Facebook site or whatsoever. These were custom ordered, and this is what I got in the house. Now they have some special hangers for them and stuff that you can hang them and all that. I actually use acrylic shelves that I have on the wall, and I'm setting this in it. This is not permanently affixed to the wall. Plus it leaves a gap in between the wall and the panel. So guys, go to your Home Depot, get these things. I think they put some glue on this just to stiffen this up a little bit more, and then they basically put a fabric over it. Now you can see, yeah, I went for white fabric. I should have done gray because you see everything on it. These are somewhat years old, so I have my use out of them. It's not like they're not functional. They are. But as you can tell, it's a very simple thing to make yourself for a fraction of the price. So don't go out your way immediately to go to these companies and believe all these companies' so-called proprietary technology and insulation methodology and all that stuff. You would be surprised what's under the fabric because they kind of screwed up. If they would have done it all around, I would have never questioned it. So thank you for doing that, not going all full on in, because some of these panels that you see, they're completely covered. You don't really know what's going on until you cut one open and you go like, is this it? And this is it. You can make these easily yourself. Now, it does not take away from the functionality of these panels. They work phenomenal, honestly. They are lifesavers. I'm not going to pretend that they're not doing anything. But at those prices, yeah, now I'm wiser. You know what they say, yeah? Ellen Parsons, old and wise. So Now, let's talk a little bit about that. Now, this is not a scientific approach I have to using panels and diffusers in your room. I know there is a huge amount of information you can gather from measuring specific sizes, material choices, thicknesses, fabric choices, insulation properties. And I know there's a couple of guys out there like Ethan Weiner that has a very professional opinion about this stuff. Of course, I'm not that guy. I'm just a John everybody that has to make do with the limited knowledge that he has on this subject. However, my ears are my ears. I hear what I hear. They do absolutely work. You can hear it in this room. There's still a little bit of reflection, which I prefer. I know some people tend to overdo this by over dampening a room to the point where it's so dead that it takes all the life out of your room. In my opinion, that's a wrong approach. You should have some diffraction going on as well. Have some stuff on the wall that can diffract the sound, that kind of gives you a more filling room. Now, somebody asked me about the size of this room. This room is not very long or very wide. That's why it's on the wide angle. I forgot to measure it. I can actually measure it, but I don't want to get up and get all the stuff to do that. That is my mistake. I might maybe put it in the description or something. But if you're imagine this is the wide angle, it's not that huge. These speakers are from the baffle measured to the back wall here about 4 foot away, 3.5 to 4 foot, I believe. I believe it's 4 foot even. So they're pretty far away from that back wall. On the side, from the middle of the drivers to the acoustic center, that's what I usually do. I feel that when you measure speakers away from the wall, you should more go from the drivers than the cabinet itself. That's just what I do. I know that most people don't. They go from the back of the cabinet all the way to 4 foot. I go from the baffle where the drivers are at 4 foot back. It gains me a little bit of space and it makes more sense to me. Because this cabinet is very stout. It doesn't resonate much. Doesn't mean it, I'm not saying it's not resonating. It does, but not to the point where it's a foot away from a side wall that it influences that to the point negatively in my listening spot. That's the case, I need a new speaker. Simple, because then it's just a flappy piece of crap to me. But that's how I measure it out. So I'm just giving you a gist of how it's set up in here. So it's 4 foot away from that back wall, although I have 2 corners, as you can see. So the problem is with this speaker, it creates a little unique issue with this speaker. Sorry about that. This is as you guys probably know from my tour, and if you haven't seen it, please go to my playlist. You can find a tour of this system, of what this exactly is. So the 500L is about 75% sealed and has 2 woofers downfiring in a vented chamber. Note the word vented. Guess where the vents are at? They're at the back of the bandpass enclosure. So it's blasting air to the back. You don't want to close to that wall, because if that happens, then you overwhelm the room. This room already gets pretty saturated with low end because of that as is. But in a near field setting, it sounds really great. But sometimes it can be a little bit overbearing, depending if I hit that room node. And that's where I still want to work. I want to make some round tube bass traps to go behind it, just to get a more diffracted, more absorbed lower end there. So I get a little bit more tuning there in the listening spot, that it's a little bit tempered. Believe it or not, these speakers fill this room easily. I mean, it's kind of obvious why this room isn't so big. But that's kind of how I roll here. I still want to hang some more stuff up. I absolutely love this space. It's totally, I feel so relaxed in this space. It's a very reference sound I get out of this. I did notice these tubes need actually replacement. These are old tubes. These are brand new tubes, so I'm not worried about these. These are somewhat older tubes. I got a little bit of dirt there, and I put my ear to it. So, but all in all, guys, that's kind of how this works. There's also a walk-in closet here that is being used for storage. It's not a huge walk-in closet, so there's a door there as well. Now, the painting I got comments about. If you guys don't know what painting I'm talking about, you see it in my other videos of the ladies with the flutes. There is actually insulation behind the painting. So it's hiding a whole panel of I call it egg crate insulation. It looks like egg crate, but it's foam. If you know what I'm talking about. And the reason it's there, yeah, it doesn't help because I have a painting in front of it, but it does dampen the wall itself because sometimes the wall itself started to kind of resonate, and it's it's kind of annoying when you sit there, you hear like a little rattle. I hate that. I just hate when I hear, things rattle. I'm not a fan. It's the same with the RS1. It's really set up for displacement and not so much extension because I don't like it when things start to rattle. It takes away from the whole experience of what I'm listening to, especially when I'm into it and then I hear all of a sudden a little wire in the wall going. Everybody knows how that is. It's so annoying. Or a window. Now my windows are basically new, so they don't have those issues no more, thank God. But I have a huge dislike for things that rattle or make noise that's not supposed to be there. So that's kind of how this room is. There is, of course, a rug here. There's also a carpet on this floor, and this is a wood floor. It's not a concrete floor. I'm not sitting on concrete here, so that's another thing. This is a split floor house, so that's kind of what I have, and that's what I got to do with. I got to say, the floor has never been a problem to me. With this speaker, there's clearly no woofer down there whatsoever. It's all internal, so it kind of helps it there a little bit. What also helped, and it's kind of weird, I put sound risers on the top monitor. So these sound risers are big, soft rubber pucks. It kind of couples and decouples it a little bit better. Then I have the riggers on these speakers. Everything helps here a little bit. But come back on the acoustics. I think this is perfect for me. I'm not saying that this is the perfectly treated room. It's not professionally treated at all. It's not something that was measured and it was, oh my God, every little, we have to have a little panel there and a panel here and a diffuser there. I mean, it's still a hobby. I'm not going to bother myself too much and get too much in my own head with this. It's what I hear, what I like, and that's kind of where we're at with this. So hopefully you get something out of this video. Again, I want to reiterate this. I know that some people, try to attack me on my channel sometimes about, you perceive yourself as an expert. It's absolutely untrue. I've never done that. I'll tell you the God honest truth. I'm no expert, but this is what I've done so far. And for me, it works. And for you, it might not. It is what it is. So guys, enjoy the music. Enjoy the cup of coffee, whatever you're doing. Catch you in the next one.